Hello and welcome to Electric Guitar Review. My name is Ben Morgan Brown and you've just been watching Jace Morris demonstrating the DSL20c from Marshall Amplification. The DSL20c is a 20 watt valve amplifier which also has a 10 watt power reduction mode with 3 ECC83 preamp valves and 2 EL34 power amp valves. It has a single Celestion 70 12-inch speaker with options for connecting to other cabinets in the form of extra speaker jacks allowing for a single 8 ohm cabinet or two 16 ohm cabinets to be connected. The classic gain and ultra gain channels have separate gain and volume controls while sharing a 3-band EQ of treble, middle and bass, as well as presence, resonance and tone shift controls. A series effect loop is included and the amp also has digital reverb. It ships with a 90012 foot switch and has an RRP of £449. For this review, Jace is using his Seth Backus Nautilus Modern with bare knuckle Black Hawk humbuckers. So let's have another listen to some playing now, and then please join me afterwards for my thoughts. The DSL20c certainly looks the part with its classic gold and black Marshall colour scheme. The top handle is reassuringly chunky and despite its compact size, the amp feels solid and like a professional bit of kit. With all the controls laid out on the front panel, it's a no-nonsense setup and it's only really the tone shift, presence and resonance controls that most players might not be familiar with. Starting with the classic gain channel, the amp is capable of going from relatively clean tones through to thicker crunch sounds. It's not your Californian clean sound, and to my ear there's always a little bit of grit unless the gain is very low, but depending on the output of your pickups, there's enough headroom unless you're after super clean tone. Winding up the gain past halfway, you start to get into your crunch tones, and I think this is where this channel really shines. Classic rock riffs seem to fall out of your fingers, and it's a very recognisable rock tone from countless records. Obviously it breaks up earlier in the 10 watt setting with a little more fizz to the tone than the 20 watt setting, which has a bit more body, depth and volume, but you still feel as if you're pushing the output valves without getting excessively loud at 20 watts. When it comes to volume, well, there might have been a time when we all thought 20 watts wasn't loud enough for gigging, and of course in some situations you might want more poke. However, with stage volumes seemingly getting lower and lower, my feeling is that given the improved quality of stage and in-ear monitoring, this amp is most likely loud enough for your average pub-stroke wedding gig as long as you're not after crystal clear cleans at volume and you have a controlled drummer. Moving on to the ultra gain channel, things get a lot more saturated. I guess you could say the classic gain channel is your 60s, 70s sounds, whereas the ultra gain takes you into the 80s, 90s and beyond. There's not insane amounts of gain on tap, but there's definitely enough to get plenty of singing sustain and raspy filth on your riffs. Both channels clean up nicely with the volume control on the guitar, and the classic gain takes boosts and lower gain drive pedals well. Adding these to your setup would give you a lot of versatility with this amp in my opinion. The EQ controls work as expected and it's simple to dial in a tone. It is a little frustrating that the two channels share a global EQ, and I can see situations where you might want an EQ shift between your rhythm and your lead settings for example, but if you want the option to craft individual channel tones then you will need to use some external effects or look towards other amps in the Marshall lineup. The presence and resonance controls, which work on the power amp section, are nice additions and help with adding a final polish or heft to your tone. I particularly felt the resonance control helped add something to lower volumes by increasing the wallop a bit. At £449, I think this amp is really good value for money. It's definitely got a professional sound and build quality, and the dual power options add some versatility. To be fair, I wouldn't say it's the most versatile amp in the world. It's definitely edging towards the more rock side of things, and might not be the amp of choice for clean fans, but for players who appreciate the Marshall tone, the DSL20c is a great sounding, portable solution that doesn't completely drain your credit card. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Electric Guitar Review. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be kept up to date when we post new videos, and Jason and I look forward to seeing you next time.